deep from a bunker in a top secret location. In southern Indiana comes a gathering of the Gospel Broalition. If it's religion, politics, cars, guns, cigars, and anything else flammable, we're talking about it. For men, by manlier men. Get it? Got it? Good. This is the Gospel Broalition. And here are your hosts, Pastor Lee, J.R. Robinson, and the Hoosier Hillbilly, Mike Paul.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I feel like I'm in an episode, not an episode, but the movie Groundhog Day. Because every time we come in here and we do a podcast, it's basically always the same issues that we're talking about. You know, we like to talk about different things, but we want to talk about relevant issues because they're relevant to us, and you know, we want to talk about those particular things. And it just seems like everything's on repeat now because every time you come in, it's just a continuation of what happened last week.
Yeah, I was looking at the news that we could talk about, and it looked like the same list as last week.
But what's interesting, it seems like everything's kind of escalating. Every time we come in the week after, it's getting worse as we go along, and pretty soon we'll just explode. I mean, that'll be it. I mean, but I think a lot of people. Oh, by the way, whoever dislikes our video before it even gets up,
we love it.
What are you, 6 years old? You know, grow up.
Somebody hit the thumbs down before the video was live this week.
Yeah, and I know it's a Christian, so I had no doubt about that whatsoever. Because you guys, you're the Gospel Broalition, but you don't talk about the Bible. You know what we do.
And just so you know, thumbs down also help our metrics.
Yeah, they do.
It's still interaction.
Thank you.
True. Any interaction is good interaction.
All press is good press.
But, are you sure? I don't know about that. But every issue...
Publicity?
I mean, when you look at what's taking place within the world today, I think every issue is a biblical issue in some regard. It is a Christian issue. You look at the things that we rant about the most. We talk about abortion, homosexuality. We talk about lawlessness.
Yeah, those are not political things.
Those are not political things. They're just not. And there's a big movement, especially with the Gospel Coalition and, you know, Ed Litton and the SBC and Russell Moore and all those guys. You know, we need to stop... You guys need to stop being nationalists and be Christians, but they're intertwined. Right now, they are intertwined. Mm-hmm. And maybe many years ago, when you had Republicans and Democrats who were against abortion, then I could understand that. But I'm not a Republican. I'm an independent Christian, conservative. Don't lump me in there with Mitt Romney.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all these issues that we're just seeing taking place within our world today, I think they are biblical issues, especially as we get in the end times. And we're waiting for the Lord's return. I don't know why you wouldn't be interested in these particular things. But there's certain people who just want to bury their head in sand. And then what happens is, and we've talked about this before, by the time it escalates to a point of no return, it's too late to do anything because you've already let it. Like I'm not going to say anything about what's being taught in my kids' school. I'm not going to say anything about what's taking place at the libraries in our town. And you don't want to do that. You don't want to meddle in that stuff. But then by the time they're bringing in, you know, what's it? Do you see that they had some guy come do story time in a library, and he was like Dildo Monkey Boy. That's what he called himself, or something like that. That's just reading stories to your children.
Yeah.
And
not my children.
I know, but how did this happen? Because you didn't say anything a long time ago.
Yeah, everybody was like astounded that it happened. It's like,
right.
Well, y'all let it happen.
Right. Sesame Street brought the first gay dads on.
Yeah.
That they've ever had in, 51 years or something like that?
Since the beginning, whenever
Since
that was.
the beginning. Yeah. Of course, we all knew Bert and Ernie were gay.
Oh, I thought they were the dads they were showing.
No, these are human dads.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is the first openly gay couple. Bert and Ernie's always been gay. Everybody knew that. But, you know, so, you know, how did this happen? Because you didn't say anything when they brought these people on for just little bits, you know, slowly but surely. You know, Disney's gotten rid of Christmas celebration now. Shock. You know, just Disney's evil.
Yeah.
They are, man. They're evil. Evil. And I made a mistake in like the past 15 podcasts by calling these people stupid. I don't think they're stupid. I think they're brilliant.
They know what they're doing.
They're brilliant and evil. And that's a horrible combination. But I think every issue is a biblical issue. So if we talk about things that you may not think is related to the Bible, we will one day. We'll get into stuff. But right now, there's just so much stuff that's taking place within the world. you just feel like if we could get in here and we could say something and maybe 10 or 15 more people are informed about what's taking place, then we've done our service for the week, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Plus, Jesus picked a guy to share the gospel with the Gentile world who was a fanatic about Israel. So nationalism is not bad. It's just not. I love my country. I do.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
No. Especially not Canada.
Oh, gosh, yeah. Yeah, I have a friend I play with, and shout out to Mason, and he wants to move out of Canada. I don't blame him. Come down here, bud. Join the Broalition.
Do that.
Have a good time. I saw an article. I'm going to get... we're going to do a little entertainment news for you people who don't like to get involved in politics. Mm-hmm. Did you see where Matt Damon was?
I saw this. Yeah.
Was researching a role. He's in a movie called Stillwater.
It sounds intriguing already.
Yeah, he's going to be a roughnecker.
He's a Trump fan conservative or something like that. He's going
to be a roughnecker, a guy who works in oil. A roughnecker, I think it's what they call him, right?
Roughneck.
Are we allowed to say it?
Roughneck, not rough-necker. Roughneck.
Gosh.
Continue.
My apologies, guys.
That's all right. I'll wear the blue collar here. I'm good.
I'm roughnecker than you. That's our new country song coming out. Go. It'll be available on iTunes pretty soon. But so he goes up to Roughnecks and he hangs out with them for a little while. And it was so funny. The press conference was so surreal because he was like, they're wonderful people.
I know. It's like he's astounded that they're normal people.
He said they would invite us over to their house and somebody would pull a guitar out and they'd start singing church songs, which we would call hymns and worship music.
Yeah.
He's like, church songs. And he just couldn't. It was just so funny because he was just like, I just can't believe these people are nice. And they were.
He lives in his little glass house up there in Hollywood.
And he does. And it was just so funny because, and you could just see all the people around him going, wow, this is fascinating. Tell us more.
Tell us more about these hillbillies that you have been with.
Did they have a Kinko's where they could actually go print off photo IDs? Because apparently Kamala does not think we can print our own IDs anywhere. I mean, it's just...
Is that what she said?
Oh, yeah, man. Kamala said you cannot do voter IDs. You can't print those off because people in rural communities don't have Kinko's and places like that.
Nor do we have printers, I suppose. I don't know.
We're all sitting here barefoot and pregnant and running around and churning our own butter. It's not. We're not Amish, you know. That's what they think. They're so detached from everybody.
That reminds me of that thing, and I saw it on Facebook and I've seen it on TikTok and stuff, where the reporter goes out into the one of the college campuses and says, "Do you think that voter ID is racist?" And they're like, "Yes, you know, because most black people don't have IDs and they don't have access to the internet." And then he turns around and goes to Harlem, and he's asking these black people, he's like, "Do you have an ID?" And they're all like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you not know any adult black person that does not have one?" And they go, No. Mm-mm. And they're like, "Do you have access to a DMV?" And they're like, it's right down there on the road. And he's like,
I saw his classic.
What's your response to, you don't know how to use the internet? And they're like, what? Who is saying this stuff?
All these white kids over here at this university
that think that, you know, they're doing the world a favor.
But that's okay because we make fun of them too.
Oh, yeah.
Because we think people like in New York are like, "Hey, Buffy, the cat's out of caviar."
They do, don't they?
Yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, I know they feed their cats caviar.
So, yeah, and so now he's like, in the movie, I guess he's going to be a Trump supporting guy because he said that's who his character would have been. Mm-hmm. But it was funny because
I would like to see this.
He was there with one of these roughnecks, and it was just like, "You have a gun?" And Matt's like, "No." He goes, "That's okay. I got 2."
Here, you have mine.
I'm surprised I got 16. Here, there. I won't miss it. It's got serial numbers wrapped off. You know, it's just so funny seeing that stuff. They're so cute when they're like that.
Yeah,
you gotta love liberals.
We do.
Here's our religious aspect of the program. God destroyed the George Floyd mural and
smoked it
in Toledo.
Hold on. JR also got hit by lightning, so
that's true. God's working,
but I lived.
Yeah,
that's true. The mural did not.
If you haven't seen it, see the pictures of it. And try to tell me it wasn't a God thing.
Blasted his face right off that wall.
If you haven't seen it, there's somebody on the side of a wall of on the wall of a building painted a George Floyd mural, a picture of him. Okay, probably stoned out on drugs. All right, so it's up there, And lightning, which I've never seen lightning hit a wall and blow bricks off before,
Yeah,
ever.
It didn't destroy the entire wall.
No,
It didn't destroy the
grounds
wall.
out.
Literally
Went
bricks
straight down, took his whole face out of it. Tell me that's not God moving.
Yeah.
There's your religious portion of the program right there.
There you go.
God is killing people. That's cool. No, it's not. It just kill. I mean, seriously, I think that would be something that he would get mad enough to do something about, though.
Yeah, why not?
Because they worship this dude.
They do.
And he was a horrible person. He was absolutely a horrible person.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened to him was bad. Nobody has a problem with that. And I guess the officer got what he deserved. But to make a martyr out of this dude, no way.
Right.
Gets a statue and all this stuff. But God said, I'm going to blow it apart. I just thought it was hilarious. And then also they found out, they listed the name of the guy who killed Ashli Babbitt. If you don't know who Ashli Babbitt is, she was the Air Force veteran.
The single death from the
Single
insurrection.
death. Yeah, contrary to what the media is teaching you, it was the single death.
Yeah, the United
at the
States'
Capitol.
worst on soil
Yeah. Inciting
attack
hate. And,
ever.
Yeah, the worst insurrection, which is kind of ironic because our dear leader, Simple Joe, comes out and says, if you want to take on the government, you got to have F-15s. You got to have F-15s and nuclear weapons. Okay. And then turns right around and a bunch of unarmed grandmas coming into the Capitol.
Yeah.
They almost overthrew the democracy.
Overthrew the democracy
Yeah.
with sticks.
Yeah. And the cops are going, they were going to kill us all. And it's just so funny. They had these little things in their purses they were pulling out. And it would shock people. And it was just like, okay, which one is it? Was it a violent insurrection?
Are you going to nuke the entire country, or
Yeah.
are you going to get taken over by sticks?
Just do your homework about the insurrection of that day. We have video coming out this week of police officers that were agitating the crowd with smoke bombs
Oh, absolutely.
on film. They were just standing there, and
they were just chucking
from
stuff into the
back,
crowd.
just causing havoc.
Yeah.
Just do your homework.
I want, for one, I want them to do the January the 6th commission. I want them to do that. And I want them to put it on C-SPAN, and I want everybody to be able to see it.
Yeah.
And on our side, I want people like Rand Paul and Ted Cruz and Tom Cotton, and I want Matt Gaetz and all those guys. I want them on there, and I want to get the FBI. I want to get that dude on there under oath and say, did you have people embedded in that group that stormed the Capitol? Did you have people in there?
Yeah.
Because they're going to... They had a camera report, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago when the governor of Michigan was going to be supposedly kidnapped. There were six hayseeds that were going to do it, inbred morons that were going to do it. 6 of those, 12 FBI informants. 6 of those, 12 informants.
So you're telling me these half of them are informants?
No.
12 are informants.
Or
Each
12
are
informants.
informants. 12 of them are informants, and now those 6 have come out, and they've started just pumping out all these appeals and things like that, and said, we want these guys on the stand, and they're going to try to prove that the FBI incited them to do it.
Well, I say, if there's that many, they could have stopped whatever they wanted to stop at any given point. So this worst attack on American soil could have easily been avoided.
All they had to do was get the ringleaders. That's all they had to do. All they had to do was arrest some people who had done that, let the crowd know that you had people in there who were going to do it, and the crowd would have been like, we don't want any part of that.
Either that,
and
or
they would have walked
them.
away from the Capitol.
Yeah, either that or they're inciting them.
Yeah, this is your government, folks. It's crazy.
Just think about how many points of view, how many statements have you heard from people that were there that day that were in the building?
Yeah. In the building?
Yeah, the ones that were let in the building. Has anybody commented on how they got in?
Where's these people who are arrested? They're being stuck in solitary confinement and without bail, and they can't. Where are these people?
Well, that's why they wanted to track down everybody that was there that day.
Make
sure they can
they're
lock them up.
political prisoners. This is no different than Nazi Germany. No different than what's happening in Cuba and stuff like that. They're going to start monitoring your text messages.
Yeah, I saw that. And that was
I don't know how is that legal?
Was it New York Post? And somebody else had actually wrote that.
You know, your carrier does it already. I mean, they already see all your texts because you could sign into your account and see the messages that you and your family have sent. I guess now they're just going to share that.
they're probably going to
We want
have
to make sure we're not spreading any hate or misinformation.
they're going to have an algorithm that catches keywords, just like it does probably when you talk on the phone. I have no doubt that they catch keywords if you're talking on the phone. They're catching a certain word, and they record your conversation.
It's just...
So, I mean, what makes us surprised that they're going to do it with text now?
It's control and manipulation. They realize, well, we can't get our opinions out on social media anymore. We just send it straight to the people we want to communicate with, and now we can't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if I share with my daughter my concerns about the vaccine, they're going to report me as a harbinger of misinformation.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
Yeah.
This is what happened after 9/11. We let them take away our liberties.
Oh, we gave them
We did.
everything.
Yeah, we gave them everything. We just said,
Because
go ahead.
we wanted to be safe.
We wanted to be safe, and we will give up all our liberties in order to be safe.
I know I talk about this guy a little bit. I don't think you guys follow him, but Graham Allen had because they're apparently monitoring his text messages now. He says, apparently the government's considering monitoring our text messages to check for, what'd you call it, Kamala misinformation?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't call it COVID. It's
So I want it on record.
Kamala.
So I want it on record. I'm not taking the jab, and neither will a single member of my family. And don't knock on my door.
Nice. He said that in text.
He said it as a text.
All because to the right people.
That's right.
I don't know what I'm going to do if they knock on my door. I'm not going to do anything violent, but...
No, I'm just going to say, none of your business.
Oh, it says he sent it to his dad.
Just to tell him, none of your business.
I think I'm going to show up the front door in Speedos eating like a
abroad.
a half-thawed hot dog out of the freezer or something. What can I do for you guys? Y'all want to come in?
Y'all want to come in? We can talk about this.
I got a nice soft place for you. That's where you got a big like playing banjo music in the
start
background.
playing banjo music in the back. Yeah.
Come on in. We like you people here. It's what's interesting is about Ashli Babbitt and the guy who Michael Byrd is the guy who shot her. By the way, you want to hear that in the media? Why do you not hear that in the media?
I didn't hear it this week. Yeah.
Why if a cop kills an unarmed person, you know about it immediately. Why have you guys didn't even know the name and haven't heard the name or nothing? No. Why did you not know that name?
Because it was probably set up from the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have heard about. Well, I'll just keep that to myself for now.
Well, okay. First off, he's a black guy. He killed a white person, so that's.
Well, that's what I was going to say because he was
okay, I'll say it for you.
A specific skin color. They're not going to focus on that. If it was a white cop,
everybody knows I'm a racist. Yeah.
If it was a white cop, we probably would have heard about it.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think we would have because the one that Ashli, or what was her name? Ashli
Babbitt.
Ashli Babbitt. I mean, she was the bad guy of the scenario.
Have we decided she's actually dead now?
He feared for his life. She was climbing through the door with both hands on the window.
Yeah.
And he shot her.
A dude was scared. Unarmed woman.
And it just so happens he is the head of Chuck Schumer's security.
Shock.
Wow. Everybody was scared that day. They all feared for their lives.
Oh, they did.
Oh, there's still media. There's still reporters and stuff that say that they're in therapy.
Yeah.
And that they can't have...
AOC's one of these people.
Yeah, they can't sleep.
Well, at least they're in therapy. They should have been in therapy a long time ago.
They can't even go into the building. They can't even go back into the Capitol. They're so scared.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
That's what I'm thinking, especially if it's AOC.
But what they reported on is that she was actually... She's climbing through the building. She's climbing through the door to get in, and there's actually armed Capitol Police behind her.
Yeah.
Who actually administered first aid to her. You know, so the dude he wasn't scared.
Yeah, have you not seen the video? There were cops behind her. Yeah. She was not not. I mean, yes, she was climbing a pile of rubbish, but if the cops behind were concerned, they would have got her.
Why didn't if she was that big of a danger, why didn't they just take her?
Or taser.
Yeah. No, he just runs around the corner.
Okay, now reverse it. Now, I want you to just imagine this surreal alternate universe here.
Uh-oh.
What if?
Okay, what if it is BLM storming the Capitol. This is an unarmed black woman, and a white cop shoots her.
Every cop in D.C. would be executed.
Yeah.
Wow.
There you go. Yeah. National Guard would have a shoot-on-sight order against the cops.
Shoot-on-sight, all cops are going down.
All cops in D.C. All white cops. All white cops in D.C.
The city would probably still be on fire.
It would be. It would be, absolutely. It's so funny because you see these double standards, and somebody said, and it was brilliant, if the left didn't have double standards, they would have no standards at all.
Yeah.
But somebody brought this up. Bongino brought this up, and I thought it was a very good point today. If Trump is in office right now, and we're talking about the jabs, what do you think the story is?
I don't think they would push it as hard, but he was still for the jabs. He was still for it. I don't think he'd be pushing as hard, but I still think certain employment places and stuff like that, I still think they would be doing what they're doing.
I don't know. I
I
almost wonder if he wasn't so adamant about it early as to not let our current leader take credit for it.
Okay.
Because remember, he had the ball rolling. He had the programs going, but this jab didn't exist until Biden got in office, remember?
Oh,
That was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And for the love of God, let's not say the V word 17 times this week.
Yeah,
please. Because I edited everyone. I missed one.
It's the Kamala. But Bongino's point was if Trump was still in office, all you would hear is that people not getting vaccinated is Trump's fault.
I can concur with
that. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can concur with that.
That's a
no-brainer. I still think
he would say he wasn't encouraging it. Yeah.
Right. And I would go a little further and say you would hear more about the negative side effects because Trump rushed the vaccine through.
Yeah, that's probably true.
He rushed the vaccine through so he would get reelected, and because of that, people are dying.
I can see that too, but I don't know. I think the narrative had already been started, and I don't think there was any stopping it because they have worked too hard to get where they're at with it.
No, I agree.
I just don't think once again, I don't think a president would have mattered at that point.
All right. I think it would be entirely different if Trump was still in office. I think
I'd like to believe it.
The whole approach would be different. I think he would encourage people to do it. And I think a lot more people would get vaccinated if Trump was still in office because, he has some sycophants out there.
He does. And once again, I that's what I'm saying. I don't think the narrative of you need to get it, you need to get jabs and all that stuff, I don't think that would change.
Yeah.
I think that would be full on. Places of employment would still require it because the fear of it has never let up.
I don't think they would be going door to door.
No, door-to-door thing, no. I think, once again, that's a administration agenda there.
Yeah, it's always something. I think we have a tractor running around here over the bunker.
It's over top.
Sounds like it.
I hear it over top.
It's over top of us.
Yep.
So if you see any dust falling off the ceiling, it's because we got tractors running around.
caving
It's a
in.
working farm that we're in.
Yeah.
And we're able to get away from every once in a while, come down to the bunker, and have a little man space, quiet space. So
It's true.
I was going to say,
Don't say man spacing.
I don't know what I was.
Splaining,
Yeah,
or I don't know where you're going with that.
I don't know. Mansplaining. Whatever. We have that stuff. I don't know. What point have you had enough?
Of everything?
Yeah.
Of the news?
I don't want to put you on the spot here because if you say this is the point I snap, then people will come after you.
We'll be turned in.
What point?
I think.
What point do you think? What could they possibly do that would be enough?
I think the answer is it's going to be different for everybody, but it's going to be when it affects that person the most. Right?
I think
when it comes to months from now, if it is the case, because I watch my company's wording carefully and how they approach the jab and all that stuff, and it will be enough for me if they come out and talk about forcibly requiring something like that for my employment. It was just like Candace Owens was talking about this week. They started off with fear, right?
Right.
That you need this to survive. And then they started off with coercion or propaganda with watch your celebrity get this, and then you need it because they got it. And then when these things are not working, now it's becoming forced, and it's like
they even tried bribery.
Bribery was one of her points.
In there too.
They really failed in Michigan, by the way.
They've tried to pay people to get this, and then when all these things didn't work good enough, they realized that we can't actually force them to take it, but we can make it seem like we did. A good portion of the population still works. What if we take that away?
Yeah.
And that's when it starts.
Is that going to be would that be the point? Would be the point where they said you're going to have to take it or you lose your job?
To me, since I've already seen that part happening, to me, no. To me, it's going to be you can't go into this store.
Yeah.
That's where the line.
When it starts taking away freedom.
When it starts taking away freedom, because you know what,
how much more freedom do they have to take away?
My employer can come out tomorrow and make some stupid decision.
Yeah.
And Indiana's a right to work state. So they can pretty well fire me for whatever, get rid of me for whatever reason. You know, the employer has the right to do so. That's fine. But to me, when my freedom like that starts going away, when I can't go to Walmart or to shopping, anywhere to shop because of that, that's when, to me, that's the line. But
I think it's based on freedom. For the most part, if I look at the last year, other than some stores that I can't avoid, I may have to cover my face to go in, my freedoms haven't really been taken away. Not me in my life and where I live.
Nothing changed for me.
Yeah.
Nothing.
It still went where I did what I wanted. So
Yeah, I wear the fake mask.
yeah,
I go in. By the way, you
mesh.
get fake mask on Facebook and on media. You can find them. Fake mask. You put it on. I'm serious. It's fantastic because you breathe normally. You talk normally. You can't like look at somebody and talk to them straight on because they can see it's just mesh. Especially like when my beard starts sticking out of it. But like just the other day, I went in and got my allergy shots. Had my fake mask on. They didn't say a word.
really
We'll put a link down below.
Yeah.
nice. There you go.
Yeah, go get one. You put one. It's just so funny because, especially at the height of it, you could walk into a store. You don't have one on. You can just kind of see everybody freaking out, and you just take it out and you put it on, and it's doing nothing, and you just see everybody going,
Oh,
All
I feel
is
so
right in
much-
the world again.
I'm going to let my
Yeah.
toddler talk to you now.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like I'm still going to kill him. You know. No.
And if you thought the need for wearing those are done, then you should probably
it's coming
check
back.
out the news for a few minutes.
It's coming back.
But there is some sanity still left because now the people who are wearing masks look like weirdos.
Yeah,
yeah,
They do.
yeah.
And I
because
thought that
it's
was
a
gonna,
minority. It's a minority finally.
I thought it was going to be the new
other
normal.
way around. Yeah, I did too.
I thought it was going to be new, but now when you go and you see somebody like, why are you still wearing that stupid
Yeah.
face diaper?
Yep.
Or they got their whole family covered.
Oh, they had this woman had little kids with a mask on.
Yeah.
You know,
My kids never wore a mask in any place. They went to a pharmacy. My wife took them into a pharmacy. And my kids are young, very young. So they went into a pharmacy, and the pharmacy person actually told my wife that, hey, the child needs to have a mask on. And my wife's like, that's not CDC guidelines.
it's not.
And they were like, you know, like.
Well, Fauci said 2-year-olds need to have them. When
Yeah.
are people going to stop listening to this clown?
Never.
Man.
I don't know.
It's their Lord and Savior Fauci.
It is, man.
He's the one that's going to go door to door. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior?
I don't know. Every time I see somebody with a mask on, I have this overwhelming desire to go lick their forehead.
Just
I
the
don't know.
forehead.
Yeah. That's the only part I can. That's the only part's not covered.
There you go.
Yeah. Just because I love them so much. It's. I don't know. The point for me, I guess. I don't know if I'm past that point. My wife talked about it the other night in church. They have, I guess Germany is divided up into counties, like 13 counties or 14 counties. That's like many counties within their country. And one of them has said, or they're kicking around the idea, I don't know if they actually have done it, but it's reported by every major news outlet, that what they're going to do is they're going to take people who violate quarantine. Not people who actually have it, but people who have been in contact with people who have had it. I forgot what they call it. What do they call that?
Contact tracing.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not that you have it. You've just been around somebody who tested positive for it. If you violate quarantine, if you go out, they're going to take you, they're going to put you in a camp that has armed guards. You think the Germans would learn a lesson about camps?
That's not just Germany that will do that.
Yeah, they're going to put them in refugee camps and stuff like that.
That is in your current CDC guidelines, right there, public on their website. I believe it's called isolation camps. It's one of the scenarios that can or might come into effect with an outbreak.
Charleston Heston said it best.
Yeah.
If they will,
That's all I gotta
if
say.
they will not get tested, if they will not get jabbed, then you go to here while you're in the.
I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
There'll be two places I'll be going.
That's the tip. They come in my house and they start hauling people away. That's gonna be it.
Yeah, there's two places I'll be going, and the camp ain't one of them.
Yeah, we'll go be with Jesus.
Yep.
Jail or home,
Yeah.
huh?
Jail or Jesus.
Yep. But that would be the point for me.
Yeah.
But you just see how they're going to do it, and how are you going to do that in Germany? Yeah, come to our camps. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we tried it before. It didn't work so well, but hey.
We have community showers. It's it was a terrible German accent, by the way. I'm gonna just quit doing it. I sound like a Chinese
Cajun.
German. I don't know.
It's Cajun, I think.
Asian German. I don't know what that is.
Cajun, not Asian.
Cajun?
Yeah.
No, I didn't sound like Cajun.
Okay.
Not at all. Cuba is revolting against COVID. I'm sorry, I caught. They're revolting against Kamala, and which are probably. I'm sure they're doing that too.
Yeah, they're probably doing that too. Yeah.
But they had this thing.
No, they want in here.
Well, it was so funny because the New York Times was like, "Oh, they're so upset about the what's taking place with that thing we can't talk about." And they're so upset about the government's response to that. And it's like, no, they hate communism.
Yeah, they hate their country.
They hate their country. They hate their leadership. They hate communism because they have to eat dog food every single day.
Yeah.
And if you go to Cuba, if you see like videos from Cuba, people are driving around in like 1950s, 1960s cars.
Because they have to.
Because they have to.
They have to keep
it's
those
not
things
classic
going.
car night at Cuba. They're actually
That's all they've got.
That's all they've got. And we have this Edsel. Hey, honey, get a new car. Sure, there's an Edsel for sale down the road. Yeah. And an Edsel dealer. Yeah. Like the only one left on the planet is in Cuba. And so they're revolting against this stuff. And you remember how everybody used to say, "Oh, Cuba has this fantastic healthcare system," and Michael Moore came out with a whole movie about it and stuff.
There's a winner right
and
there.
And they're revolting against it because they hate their health care system. And so New York Times is like, "Oh yeah, they're just so upset about what's happening with the virus and all that stuff." And it's like, no, they hate communism. But what's so funny is if you see the pictures from their protests, and you see the pictures from like Hong Kong.
They're all flying American flags.
They're all flying American flags.
You know why?
Because it's a symbol of freedom.
Because we're the greatest country in the world.
The flag is a symbol of freedom.
Yep.
Well, it used to be.
But I think it still is for a lot of people.
It still is. Well,
it still is for me.
It is for me too. I mean, compare us even today to other countries.
Look at Canada.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even imagine.
Horrible. And in other countries where they don't have any freedom whatsoever. And America at its worst is still better than a lot of places out there. Yeah. And so they see this stuff, and in America, the flag is a symbol of freedom for people. And then you've got people in their own country of America who hate the flag.
Yeah, they're burning it.
They're burning it, saying it causes me distress when I see it. And
can we swap them with those people flying the flags in China and Cuba? Can we
trade them?
We'll do an even trade.
Negotiate.
That's a brilliant idea.
I'm game.
Why can't we just do that?
I'd pay for the tickets, the plane tickets.
Why don't we just do an even swap, 1 for 1?
Yeah, we could probably get those other countries to pay that.
We could. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get them in, trade out the ones that don't want to be here.
This is great.
We'll send one socialist to Cuba, and then they send us one person who wants freedom.
This sounds like a win.
It's a win-win, man.
Yep.
They won't do it because they love this country.
Yeah, they love this country. They're not leaving. They're like, what? You go live in a communist country? No, thank you.
I'll say it once again. I think we said it last week too. A country so great, even the people who hate it won't leave.
That's right.
Yep.
And that's just the truth. But they all had flags there and stuff like that. But I saw something. I put it up on my Facebook page, where the Associated Press did a release about the thing in Cuba, and they shut down the social media sites. The government did.
Yep. Shut them down.
And this is from the Associated Press. This is what they put in their release. They block social media sites. It's a tried and true method of stifling dissent by authoritarian regimes around the world. And I'm thinking, what are they doing in America?
Wow.
Yeah.
They're not turning it off, but they're turning off the parts they don't like.
Well, I'm sure the person in the Associated Press who wrote that was taken outside and beaten to a pulp. But, by peace-loving, tolerant, liberals. But it's when you shut down social media within a country, what you're doing is that's stifling dissent. You can't say anything, and you just can't say I'm going to allow free speech that I agree with.
Yeah,
because it's not.
That's not free speech.
It's not free speech. It's not. I think atheists are morons, but they have a right to say whatever they want to say.
Yep,
they do. And there are certain things, I know there's lines that you can cross that you can get to the point where there are certain things you shouldn't be saying. But even then, let society kind of filter those people out, because that's what society normally does.
Yeah, because, if somebody gets on there and they're actually preaching hate speech,
society will take care of that.
Society will take care of it.
Absolutely. Always does.
They're going to say, that guy's an idiot. I don't want to listen to him. And they're going to push him to the side.
Let them bury themselves.
Absolutely.
Right. But when you start, when the government is actively stifling different opinions, then that's no different than what's taking place in Cuba, the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany. That's what's happening here.
Well,
and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, and every time for preparation for this podcast, and we do actually prepare, believe it or not, but every time we prepare for this, it's, can we say this? Can we not say this? Can we say this? Is this going to get us banned?
What do I need to pineapple?
Yeah.
Right. This is the society that we live in right now, in America. And that's what we're talking about. And I hate it with a passion. But I think all this stuff, I think the January the 6th stuff, I think the critical race theory, I think it was just all, it's all this big master plan that's taking place here. Though the CRT comes out, establishes the narrative, all white people are white supremacists, all white conservative people. Are white liberals racist?
I don't know. Token?
Cameron,
Are you racist?
okay, he's not.
He's
Okay,
not
so
racist,
it's just
but he's liberal,
it's white
so.
conservatives who are racist.
I thought it was all whites were racist. I thought that was one of the lines in the CRT code.
Well, he says he's not.
So apparently
If you're
you
white,
are.
you're racist, and
He's a liberal. He's always right. So, so white conservatives are racist. All right.
Okay.
So here's the narrative. Follow me along, boys and girls. Here's the narrative. If I had a whiteboard, I'd do it. So, all whites are white supremacists. We need an event, January the 6th.
Okay.
Okay, January the 6th. It was something, the insurrection perpetrated by white supremacists. Okay, because everybody who follows Trump is a white supremacist.
Yes.
Even if you're black.
Yes, all Trump supporters are white supremacists.
Even if you're black, you're a white supremacist. So now we have to crack down on white supremacy.
And how do you do that?
Yeah. And you shut down their social media sites. And that's they're trying to give themselves a mandate to do it. So CRT comes out and says all white people are racist. So now we are justified in shutting down anything that white people do. I mean, they had this Pennsylvania professor get those kids up in front and just publicly humiliated this kid. You're like, you're white. How does that make you feel? And he's like, I'm sad. And it's like,
I'd turn around and punch him in the face.
yeah. I mean,
Hey, professor, I'd pull a full-out Adam Sandler.
I'm serious,
on.
man. I'd take him to court. I have a Chinese lawyer. His last name's Yu. You probably guess his first one. But, there's somebody's got to start suing these people to oblivion. And that's what's going to start happening. Because we're going to see this stuff continue.
Trump has sued Facebook and Google and all them. And didn't Candace Owens have a lawsuit? I believe she has a lawsuit against
but I didn't hear anything about
some of
that.
them too. So
What do you think's actually going to come out of all this election crap?
nothing.
The audits and all that.
Nothing.
I think you summarized what most people feel.
Nothing. I think you're beating a dead horse.
How do you keep going when you feel like that's your ultimate conclusion?
Maybe it just causes enough uncertainty for the next 4 years that people vote right.
I'm gonna tell you, I admire the crap out of people who keep fighting.
Oh, absolutely.
I do. I love you guys. God bless you, people.
Yeah.
And we're fighting in our own small way here. But those people who are like, you know what, I'm going to continue to show that this election was. But Arizona apparently is going to Georgia's going to also going to blow up. They said 60% of the write-in ballots that came in Georgia in one county were fraudulent.
60%.
60%
of the write-ins. Yeah.
of the write-ins were fraudulent.
So the mail-in, basically.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Even if they prove it that he won those, I mean, are they going to do anything?
Oh, it was so funny. The Texas Democrats left Texas because
and Abbott came out or whatever his name was.
he's going to arrest them.
Said,
I hope he does.
Said, I'll arrest you, come back.
But they left because they didn't want to vote on a voter ID law.
Uh-huh.
And they had beer on the plane, which actually you had to have an ID to buy. And they were on a chartered plane, which you had to actually have an ID to get. But that's that's bad. IDs are bad. IDs are racist, because I just can't imagine being a class of people who feel like you have to be defended all the time.
I mean, goodness sakes, you have to have an ID to drive.
Yeah.
You do.
You have to have an ID to have a cell phone.
I know.
You have to have an ID to have all these things in life.
They literally think it's called soft bigotry. That's what it is. But they literally think that black people are too stupid to get
these. Well, I mean, you've heard
absolutely that's a truth.
Biden and stuff say stuff like, well, the black community, they can't get the jab or any because they don't have the resources to figure out how to do it. And so they're all sitting there with their computers watching this going, this guy's an idiot.
They don't know how to work a computer.
Yeah, it's like, we know how to work computers.
They really think that.
They a lot of them
that.
actually think that.
They do. You can't require them to do anything because they're so lazy they're not going to do it. And that's just a horrible thing to say about a group of people.
We're not racist, but we don't think black people have any type of modern abilities whatsoever.
Oh, they're the most racist human beings on the planet.
Absolutely they are.
They do, because I think black people have no problem getting an ID or anything like that.
And you ain't black unless you voted for Biden.
I ain't black. So
that's right. You ain't black if you voted for Trump. Is what it was, wasn't it? If you're black and you voted for Trump, you ain't black. I think
that's what it was. Yeah.
How is that not a racist statement?
Yeah.
That guy. He
especially since a white guy said it.
Yeah.
So they put out a report. They put out some statement, and what was it? How did she state it? But and I'm doing this off the top of my head. I didn't have actually my notes, but she did something where we put out a statement on this particular issue, and it was in the president's voice, and she was implying he didn't actually say it. We put it out there, and it's almost like he said it, but we actually said it for him. Every time she talks, she opens up, what's behind the curtain a little bit more and more what's going on.
I say he doesn't actually say anything.
He's not running the country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care if you're Republican, Democrat, alien, it doesn't matter. He's not running the country.
Yeah,
you have to be able to admit that.
Yeah, you can look at it and go, he's reading cue cards.
I would hope a Democrat would be able to say this guy's not.
I mean, he had flashcards when he met Putin.
Yeah, oh gosh.
I mean,
and all they said on him was Trump is bad, Trump is bad,
yeah,
Trump is bad.
Trump is Yep.
It's all Trump's fault.
Yep, Trump's fault.
Yeah, I love these people. You brought up something last week, and I didn't talk about it, but once I re-listened to the podcast, I thought it was a very interesting point. And I wanted to keep this. We're going to keep it short because I don't want to go too long. Because when we look at what's taking place, but you guys don't make it past 30 minutes, which is a typical guy thing. We get that. We understand that. So we're going to start. Hopefully later on, dividing some of the podcast up into shorter podcasts for our ADD brothers who are out there. Like us, I get it. I see a video on YouTube longer than 30 minutes. I ain't touching it.
Yeah, I'm out.
20 sometimes.
20 minutes, 20 minutes. No, I want 6 minutes, 7 minutes. That's all I want. And we're going to start breaking down.
We can do like the best of.
Yeah, well, that'll be a short video.
One video, 6 minutes.
We're gonna start breaking down. Hopefully the podcast in little shorter segments so that you can watch it, because I think there's some really good stuff that you're missing because it's at the end of the podcast. But you brought up last week about how we're not treating. Why did we not treat the Kamala?
Because we wanted to treat it this way instead.
And I just thought that's such a great point. It's a great question, because everything, even if you have the flu, you go and say, "I have the flu." And what do? They can't do anything for it, but they say, well, here, take this.
They give you some type of antibiotic or some type of flu medication.
Take some vitamin C. Here's some,
of course,
NyQuil.
Of course, all prescription because they want your money.
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
Key there, they want money, so they're going to give you prescriptions to take.
Right.
To help you out.
So for everything that you do, you would be shocked to go to a doctor and then not say, here's the treatment plan. They don't say, go home and die.
Yeah, usually it's, here, take this medicine, give me money.
Right, but he made a great point. They were just like, if you need to be put on the ventilator, come back.
Yeah.
And that was it. They didn't treat nothing.
No. And the people that tried to treat it were considered, I don't even know
which doctors.
Yeah. Basically, you want to use this drug to try to treat that? No, you can't use that drug around here. Right? You want to try this, and this? No, these doctors won't do it. I mean, we have written, published documents that say treating this way helps this sickness. But I can't get anybody to do it. That's what that guy in that video you guys were talking about was saying last week. Nobody will do it.
Has there ever been a negative report or study that has come out talking about the adverse effects of that malaria medication?
Yes. So what was said about that is if taken in improper doses, it becomes lethal, as it is with any drug.
Well, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, there's like, so people can't be haphazardly trying to treat with this because it might kill somebody.
Well, yeah.
Even though it's been used to treat malaria for decades.
Okay.
And even though the success ratio on it was
If caught
staggering.
early, that doctor was saying 85%.
Dang.
If caught early. If treated early. Yeah.
I don't know.
He was saying he could have saved 85% of the people that died, is what he said.
And that's another question I have. I don't understand about that either. I don't understand why, if I knew that information, and I knew that they did not treat my spouse, my kids, and they knew they could have at least tried it,
Yeah.
and they didn't even try it.
Mm-hmm. Somebody told him not to.
Why on the HE double drumsticks did they not even try it?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what that published doctor was trying to ask last week.
Why not try it?
Mm.
If the person's going to die anyway, why not try it? Why did they not freaking try it?
Because they didn't want something to work that wasn't their solution.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It doesn't move.
Wake up, people.
It doesn't move the plan forward.
Does it move the plan forward?
And speaking
That's
of
what it
that,
comes down to.
go back and think about when Kamala or COVID, whatever we're calling it these days.
Are we right? Okay.
Uh-oh. We'll deal with that later.
We'll deal with that later. We'll beat him to a pulp later on.
He is a liberal.
If you go back to the beginning of 2020, when the COVID outbreak happened, and you're reading all these articles about COVID, there was no mention of a jab. However, if you scroll just a little bit lower in your social media feed, you're going to see a feud about vaxxers versus anti-vaxxers before there was ever a mention of a COVID jab. Guaranteed. Because I remember scrolling down through, I was like, why are people debating vaccinations at this point?
So they already knew what they were going to do.
Somebody started that conversation. Somebody wanted to know who opposed and who didn't. Yeah, that's what I think. Because I remember saying we're dealing at that time. I was still drinking the Kool-Aid. I thought we had a pandemic to deal with.
Yeah.
And I'm scrolling
we all
through.
were.
Why are people concerned about who likes vaccinations and who doesn't? We have something to deal with, and that's what the conversation was. Before it was mentioned.
I just have this feeling in my spirit that there is something incredibly evil going on here, and it's not even just a political issue, a political thought. It's just something. You know, I'm not necessarily an anti-vaxxer.
No, I mean,
I'm not at all. It's just something about this crap gives me the willies.
I'm anti the government wanting this bad for me to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the mistake the retards made by saying we're going to make you do it. Because
Yeah.
Americans are like, you don't make me do jack
yeah.
squat.
It's like, oh, you're gonna make us? No, no thanks.
Yeah. I don't care if you want to. You can give me chocolate ice cream, but you say you have to have it.
I don't want your
I don't
chocolate
want it.
ice cream.
I hate it.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm never eating chocolate ice cream
I know.
again.
You just don't do that to Americans. And when they started saying, especially when they like, we're going to go door to door.
Ooh, bring it.
Bring it. Bring it.
I don't know how, unless they're just wanting to showcase gun violence again. I don't know how this is going to go in their favor.
That'd be a good way to do it, wouldn't it?
Well, that's I'm sure that's what they're going to do. They're going to send people out there. They're going to find the most confrontational people they can find. They're going to send them out there, hoping they'll get in the face of somebody, and then somebody will shoot them. It's a white supremacist killing people, and then
or guns are killing people again.
guns are killing people, and things like that. And
Brilliant.
there's a plan, folks, and we have to get on here and we talk to 5 people every week, whatever it is. We're going to continue to do that. That is our mission from God. There's a plan that's taking place. It's principalities and powers.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dealing with flesh and blood here. We're dealing with things out there in the supernatural world, that crazy stuff. And these people are, well, I'm going to say they're nuts again. They're
evilly brilliant. They're
fully functioning sociopaths. Is that better?
Fully functioning sociopaths. Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's a good term. Because that's what they are. And so, by the way, we're the Gospel Broalition. I'm going to say that at the very end.
That was just the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have
You got another 3 hours to go.
Another 3 hours to go. No, but we're done for the night because we all have the Kamala and
the new.
So if we're,
I don't know about
we're
you,
not
I'm
on next
immune.
week, we died.
I don't know about you. I'm immune.
But we didn't commit suicide.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna make
Oh, by
that.
the way, yeah, let me
we
start-
we will
right.
not commit suicide.
If you hear, we're going to get this video evidence right now.
Yep.
If I suicided myself,
I did not.
I did not.
We did not. It is true.
And you laugh.
You laugh.
We laugh nervously.
Might just be the token liberal on here next week. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. But joined by Mike Paul, J.R. Robinson, Shutup Cameron in the back, a token liberal, and Sweet Tony is on vacation this week. He's identifying as black. He's infiltrated a BLM meeting. He has officially joined Black Lives Matter and left us.
These are
It's true.
these are just keywords that we get to use. That's why we mention them all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we just throw them in there. Be sure to like and subscribe down at the bottom.
Something else before you sign off.
Go.
Because, we are a table full of Christian men that are tired of being nice, right? That's why we have that book on the table. But we have some female listeners, a few.
Word.
And he edited that book specifically for you. There is no more Christian nice girl now for you to read.
Oh.
Really?
Yep. Mandy is getting her copy right
Put
now.
that on your list to read, ladies.
Yep.
I know you're only here for me, and that I understand that.
That's true.
But do that. Check it out. They're here for Sweet Tony.
Might be.
He's
never seen him, but
He's a
Never
dream.
seen
He's a
him.
dream man. He's a man you talk about, but you actually never see him or talk to him.
But that's what keeps the mystery alive.
That's what
Women
is-
love mystery.
They love mystery.
And Sweet Tony is their mystery.
I'm serious, and ladies, let me tell you something. He looks like Brad Pitt and Fabio all rolled in one.
And he smells great.
He smells fantastic,
that's where the sweet comes from.
That's where the
and he
sweet.
will cut your grass, and he loves to do it. He's a sweetheart, and
He is.
He's the perfect man.
He is.
Yep.
He's sweet.
Yep.
Sweet.
He's
Tony.
just like Jesus,
the Fabio version.
the Fabio version of Jesus. All right, we love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the Gospel Broalition. We'll see you guys next week, same time, same channel. We'll see you guys. God bless.
Yeah.
See ya.
The Gospel Broalition is done, leaving behind charred minds,
You know, this
exhaust
one, I
fumes,
bet
ammo,
G actually
multiple
made it to the
cigar
end of this one.
wrappers,
This one's
and
short.
an empty bottle.
52 minutes.
He
of
says he
bourbon.
makes it every week. He commented.
Mission
He
accomplished.
says he was a day late this week,
You've
but
been
he always
listening
makes
to
it
the
to the
Gospel
end.
Broalition
Okay.
with Pastor Lee, J.R. Robinson,
Can't make it
and
too
the
short
Hoosier
because that's just like
Hillbilly,
his after
Mike
dinner.
Paul.
Yeah.
A
But that's
show
not,
for
52
men,
minutes is
by
not
men.
bad.
If it's
that's the
religion,
shortest one we've done
politics,
since the first one.
cars, guns, cigars, and
It felt
anything
like it,
else
too.
flammable, we're
That was
talking
random
about it.
thought.
We hope you
that was
enjoyed
good.
the show.
Random.
We know we
The news
have.
the whole time.
We'll be back soon. And
It
thank
wasn't
you
first
for
the
being
news,
a
it's
part
only the news,
of
yeah.
the Gospel Broalition.
Yeah, we'll get back into. I think we ought to do cohabitation.
Oh, we need to get it.